With us is Alden Davis. And Alden, myvaluetree.com is his website, and we're going to do our little coaching session for this Saturday morning. Hey, Alden, how you doing?
Good morning, Ray. It's so great to be with everyone.
Give us a little sneak preview before we go to sports.
Sneak preview. Our main idea today is going to be yellow pictures. Do you have yellow aging pictures and certificates hanging on your wall? Because yesterday's skills and projects become our old memories of the past, memories of days gone by. And today is the day to consider if you're living off the past, and it may be time for an upgrade.
So, in other words, I used to be good at this, but the answer is, yeah, well, what have you done for me lately?
That's right. A Lotus certificate about great Lotus spreadsheet skills from mid-1980s probably is not overly relevant today.
It's not a marketable certificate. Okay. We'll talk about that here as soon as we get done with sports, and that'll be coming up here in a minute. 7:12 on WTIC. Yeah, really. 7:19. Thank you, franchise. Always good to see you. 7:19 on WTIC. What the heck is going on here? What are they doing on Channel 3? Are they doing these pedicures, or what is it, pedicure day? Okay, that's great. Ooh, we can only hope. Now, is that one woman expecting? I think she's expecting. She's grabbing her stomach. Oh, maybe she's going to be delivered right here on the air. That'll be exciting. Okay, thank you. Weird. We're getting these. It's news you can use. Come on. So 7:20 on WTIC. Unlike Alden, who's just going to try and make your life more productive and stuff like that.
And happier.
Yeah, Alden Brown is here. We do this every week, and the topic today is yellow pictures, and we were just talking about it on the air. But once again, you kind of set up the premise, but what are we talking about here?
Well, Miss Annette and I were in a small dinette last week after the show, Ray, and we noticed on the wall pictures of events that had taken place there, but they were yellow. And that brought to mind the fact of, well, it was really nice 10 years ago when this event happened there,
right.
But really, what are we doing today to stay relevant? What are we doing today to make sure that life is just as vibrant and fun as it was?
So, yeah, it's really cool that something was going on 10 years ago. That's great, and that's part of who you are and the history of the place, but what is
can I
get an award from 2009?
That's exactly right. It's like you go into one of these restaurants and you see a Zagat Award from 1996. Hey, really great. I'm glad you won it in 96.
Of course, nowadays, the way my mind is working, that's fairly recent. You know, it's kind of like, I can't remember what year we're in, but no, you're right, exactly.
Right, so now let's bring it in.
We were good then.
We were good then, but are we good today? Now, go out to myvaluetree.com and click on the WTIC logo and print off a graphic of our star power model that we're working through.
Okay.
Today, we're going to be focusing again on abilities, accountability, and action. So, yellow pictures. It might be time for an upgrade. You know, Ray, several years ago, I worked with a factory, and we did some phenomenal work there, turned it around. It was a great success story written up in the Wall Street Journal. And over the course of a year, 1,000 people came through that factory to see what was going on.
Wow.
But this year, 10 years later, it's just another factory. Nothing new is happening. Now, folks, the question is that happening in your life? Have you gotten yellow pictures in your life? Here's what we're talking about today. It's time to get some wow projects. Now, you know I'm a big proponent of accountability and writing down your outcomes for the year, and I was working on my 20-ton outcomes this week, and I got to tell you, it was already February, and I was struggling to get them done. It wasn't happening. I just couldn't get into it. And this past week, I was finally able to take about 30 minutes and think clearly about what I hope to have resulting at the end of this year. Now, Ray, do you see them?
Yeah.
Did I do it?
I'm telling you the truth. Yes, he did.
Okay.
Yes, he did.
They're just handwritten notes, but it's
very
outcomes
neatly written
for this year.
But...
Well, what I want you to do as you think about writing yours is let's add a wow project to the list this year. What's a wow project? A wow project is something that you're going to learn new. It's going to push you to grow. It's going to make you excited. So what kind of wow projects could you do? If you're working for a company right now, one of the best things you can do is help them think about quality and quality improvement. You could go out right now to the NIST website and print off the Baldrige Quality Award criteria. Here are steps of what you can look for to make your company better. You could say to your boss today, over next year, I'd really like to lead a quality initiative. And you can start moving down a point. That's a wow project. I got to tell you, back in 1984, 85, I was offered an opportunity for a WOW project to learn about factory flow improvement. It was called Just in Time.
Oh,
and
sure.
to this day, Ray, that
It's still being
one
used.
WOW project put me on a different path in my career.
And that's still out there.
It's still there. That's what I was doing yesterday with a company over in Long Island. It was all about the flow. Another WOW project is get on a process improvement team. Learn the 7 problem-solving skills. Tell the boss you want to work on this year's budget planning and forecast. Something different, something that will make you say, wow, a new, fresh picture this year. I don't know what it might be. Asked to go to the trade show. You know, maybe you've been wanting to write a book. You can actually write your 10-page little book and go out to Blurb and have it published for $5. Put it on your desk. You did it. You made something happen. It's not just a project from 10 years ago. Do an Excel spreadsheet on anything. Just force yourself to learn how to make the formulas work. Offer to teach a training class to anybody on anything. But it's putting you out there. It's a WOW project, and you write it down on your sheet.
And it is mutually beneficial. It's good for you, but it's also good for them. And you'll learn something from them. They'll learn something from you.
And that's why it's such a great thing to do. You could manage a trade school internship program. So whatever you're passionate about,
I love that.
whatever you want to learn, turn it into a project and sell it. Remember, this is about thriving in uncertain times. This is about selling you incorporated. So you have to be able to sell it. When we do sales or development training, you always get people clear about what's the ask. What are you asking for, right? To close this sale, what's the ask? So the question today is, what is your ask for yourself? What are you asking yourself to do? Turn that into a WOW project, and I am encouraging you to write down those 2010 objectives. Just the act of writing it down starts to make a commitment in your mind, and it increases the chances of it happening. Do I have check marks on 09?
Yep.
And 08? And 07? And 02?
Oh, there they are, yeah. Okay,
Little
it's
check
like
mark.
one sheet. It's like one sheet. So this is a collection of the ones you've had.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Oh, I see. Okay, I've
because
got it now.
year over year,
Those are daunting. I have all
they
that.
keep pushing me forward. Now, I might not get them done this year, but over time, they stay in front of me.
Cool.
So write them down.
All right.
The last thing is, remember, your yesterday's stories are just stepping stones to tomorrow's adventures. Otherwise, you're just getting stuck in the past with yellow pictures.
Like Nora Desmond in Sunset Boulevard. Well, no, while you were talking about this, I was thinking about Paul Newman. Here's a guy who could have lived on his clippings forever, yellowed masters of his films.
The old newspaper clippings.
But here's a guy, who was a great actor all the time. Then he got into the Hole in the Wall thing. He started the Westport Playhouse. He started, restaurants. So there's a guy who just kept growing, never got old.
Exactly the point. Always staying relevant for yourself and those around.
He could have said, hey, did you see me in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid?
Oh, it was great. Man, let's remember.
That was then. And so now I think as many people probably remember him for all the other stuff he did.
That's right. So as we move forward into this week, WOW projects, and write them down, please. Go to myvaluetree.com, click on the WTIC logo, get a copy of the Star Power model. And, folks, let's all get into action this year. It's going to be great.
We can do it. Thank you, buddy. It's good to see you, as always.